Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to We're All Bad at Starcraft. This is a show that I'm going to commentate on some of the games that myself, Mr. Mark and Mr. Fruity have played. It's going to be via a replay format, and you can see just how bad we all are at Starcraft. So I'm going to go ahead and load up our first replay for today. It's going to be a very particular one I want to watch. So, essentially, you've got Mr. Mark here in the bottom left playing as a Terran. You've got myself in the top left playing as Terran, and then Mr. Fruity playing as the Protoss. And just so you can see, that's the entire map there. So this is the map we're playing on. Fairly straightforward. Very odd sort of map where you have your main base and then some expands or extra minerals, and then yeah, one geyser, Vespian geyser, and then over here we have the base that no one spawned at. Now, out of the three of us, I have played the most Starcraft. I wouldn't say I was particularly good at it. In fact, I would say I was pretty bad at it. But we decided that we'd play a few games against one another to see, how it would go. So let's just speed this up a little bit. I use the pause buttons. Well, there you go. I'm off I go to find the exit there. Mr. Mark is still. So I've started my barracks before I think the other two, maybe. Oh no, Mr. Fruity there has spawned in a pylon, as you can see. Let's just slow that down again a minute. I've started my barracks. Mark, being the newest player to this, or I mean, he's played it. Obviously takes a little bit slower there, but you can see he's gone off in the bottom to build a supply depot first. There's an interesting deviation there between both of us. I always go barracks first. I try to line it up so that when I'm building a barracks, I have 10 SCVs out, and then I build the supply depot after, or just about to. As you can see, I believe Mr. Fruity here is about to put down his gateway when he's got the money. This is quite a fun map as well. It's a very basic map. There isn't that much expanding, but you'll see as this game goes on how quite silly some of this becomes. There we go. So he puts his gateway down there. I've started on my supply depot, and I think Mark is about to, there we go, build his barracks. So I want to speed this up a little bit now, because I think, as far as I'm aware, that's it for the minute. Oh, we see that the barracks is now done. The supply depot now finishes up for me. No one's built a gas geyser yet, as you can see. We've got this one probe here looking very suspicious. Probably going to build a second gateway, would be my guess. Are we going with a second gateway? Yes, we are. So as you can see, Fruity's opened up with 2 gateway beginning. I've got my 1 marine out. I've started building a Vespian geyser. Mark is slowly tailing behind and gaining that barracks that he needs. So I should probably explain that, like, at this point, my thought process was very much the case of, obviously, I don't know what they're doing. I did scout, I think, fairly soon. I could be wrong on that assumption. But I was like, right, I need to build some defences by this exit here. So I put a couple of barracks down, as you'll see as the game goes on. Putting a second supply. Fruity's finished up with 2 gateways, now getting his almost finished as a simulator. Believe this guy's building a pylon, yep. And Mr. Mark very slowly, having probably more FC workers than the 2 of us combined, I think. Like, I'm not sure who and what order they were doing things in. I definitely, I think, had the least amount of, well, I didn't have that many SCVs. I think at this point, second barracks is going down for me. Already got 4 guys off this. He goes off the scout. Very important scouting. I'm not very good at it. I should be better, but I tried to make sure I could scout these guys. Run straight into the base, I believe. Past all of this, not knowing that either of them are here at this point. So I just start attacking his pylon and get his attention. Also not knowing that he didn't actually have any zealot until now. I was quite surprised about this. I just let this guy die, set some indication. Getting attacked by the zealot and the probes there. Down here we see Mark is building a Terran Academy. He's working on an engineering bay there as well. Still only the 1 barracks, pumped out 4 marines. At this point, just pause it quickly, you can see that this is what I was on about. How much defense I had here. If I'd actually scouted Mark first, I could probably have taken the 4 marines there, plus the extra one there, and probably harassed him. Or even harass, well, 2 zealots there is quite difficult to deal with that little marines, unless you're actually very good at microing, which I am not. I would probably be okay maybe in this game against these two, but not overly great at it. So almost finishing up the second barracks now, and now I start pumping out more Marines. We see here that Mark's already built a Terran Academy and Engineering Bay before me. I've opted for the 2 barracks approach, and then Fruity's gone for the 2 gateways there, and then following up with both a Forge and a Cybernetics core, probably to build Stalkers and to be able to build Templar Archives and things like that. Got the Vespene Geyser, we've got 3 in there, it looks of it. Yeah, it looks like 3 in there. Mark's got 3 in there as well, and I think that's the same for me, possibly. Yeah, 3 in there too. I've started work on the Terran Academy. I want Stim. I want to be able to build medics. That's my kind of train of thought. Mark's building a bunker here. Odd location, but actually fairly secure and fairly easy to back up, because you can put the Marines in it and these guys can go in it, but you can also put them there as well. Getting his first upgrade there for the Terran. I don't know if we see upgrades coming out. We've got ground attack there from Fruity. Nothing out of that one yet. I don't think I've even got... I don't even have an engineering bay at this point, and we're 5 minutes into the game. Those 2 are starting on upgrades. I have a fairly big army. I mean, if we compare that, I've got 9 Marines currently versus 3 Zealots up there, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. About the same on Marine count, actually. Which is interesting to note. So we've got 1 less Marine. Mark has me. He's built a missile turret there, interestingly enough. Also working on a supply depot in a very odd location. Yeah, quite an interesting thing there. I could have potentially attacked him earlier, maybe building the second barracks. Now that I'm pumping out more Marines, I could probably have gone and attacked him, but I don't know if I'd scouted him at this point. It's 1 SCV, doesn't know what he's doing. Now putting on a comsat center, because I want to be able to scout Mark's base without thinking at this time he might have a bigger army than he actually did. Up here we see that the one was going up. We're not seeing much else. Probably... Oh, we've got some Dragoons coming out of this one. We've got more Zealots coming out of there. We're not seeing a huge amount of scouting. Oh, no. We did. There he goes. Realising at this point that both myself and Mark go opting for a very similar defensive... Maybe overly defensive. I mean, defending against... like that many Zealots with that many Marines is probably okay, but if he had attacked me and I didn't have any defenses there, like these bunkers make a huge difference to the lifespan of those Marines there. Now we can see that he's working on the upgrade for the Dragoons that are now popping out, as you can see. At this point, Mark is now building a factory. In fact, let's have a look. What have we got here? We've got a second barracks finally coming down at 6 minutes into the game. We've got the Terran factory almost finished up. We've got what I assume is another bunker. That's an interesting placement, but I don't remember that being there. Bunker going down, starting to mine from this area. I'm almost finished my factory. I've still haven't built an engineering bay this entire time. I'm working on Stim there. So that's quite a big difference between what my strategy was and what Mark's strategy was. Him going for the factory a lot earlier, finally getting the second barracks, me getting the second barracks earlier. Looking at his army, he's got probably this still less than what I had. Yeah, I think with Stim, if I'd got Stim earlier and gone to attack him, that would have been a good decision there. But as you can see, finishing up the factory. Oh, actually fairly close on the factory, both of us. He's finishing up before I am. And then we've got me building another supply. What's Fruity doing here? Just collecting a lot. Just building an army. Steady, nothing. No one's scouting down here at this point. What's he building? Just a Zealot. Obviously, bear in mind Protoss. Obviously, everything's much more expensive. We finally see this. I do believe, if we take the reveal entire map off... not quite yet, but at some point I do end up seeing these pylons lining this part of my base here. We'll keep that off for a minute just so we can see who can see what and bits and bobs. We see the barracks done. Only problem with that factory being there is going to be very difficult to place the add-on onto it. There we go. There goes the machine shop going down on mine. That's the first thing I do. We seeing anything pop out of there? Not yet. Still opting for... Oh, got some medics there. Still opting for the Marines. I'm finally building medics, and I think at some point I end up getting the upgrade for them fairly early on. Getting siege. Obviously the most important thing, getting a siege tank out there. Quite a scary army here. Because Dragoons and Zealots, which I assume he's going to get Zealot legs. What are we building? Yeah. Citadel of Doom to get Select Legs. Fantastic. And here we see the Starport coming out. Stargate, sorry. This is interesting because I think Dave was specifically going for carriers or aiming for carrier tech. There we go. We've got another Templar Archives going down, so you can get Archons and Templars. And another gateway, so you can be cracking stuff out. Mark's Marine count looking fairly high. Probably not quite as high as mine, but I mean, I've got a few extra medics in there currently. I think he's now getting the medics now. Looking to get the Terran armor upgrade. Have I built an engineering bay? Yes. Yes, I have. I don't know if I don't think I've upgraded anything from it yet. There we go. Finally getting the upgrade for the medics. Building a couple of missile turrets around. This is what I was worried about, was some kind of air attack, because up to this point I hardly seen anything. And also siege tank range in this game is fairly big. That siege tank there can fire on probably about there, like that it can fire all the way down. So from there to there, that's a fairly big range. You see I put a turret down here as well just to protect it. Mark at this point has a bunker over here, which is an interesting placement, but if someone airwise did come in there, missile turret just would obviously scout it. Building a starport. I don't think I even started a starport at this point. No, still churning out just Marines and some firebats there, actually doing their little tango. At this point, Fruity is developing hallucination. Always good. Building more. Oh, there's a DT. I don't remember him building DTs this game, so this will be interesting to see what happens. Oh, off it goes. DT's going off the scout. I'm going to assume it's going to go down to Mark's base. Actually, let's just pause this a second. He's about to move. He's moved this to place down a extra shop on it. The extra add-on to the starport there. We see that the upgrade for that's almost done. We've got fleet beacon, so there you go. Carriers most likely coming out of this. Let's see where this Dark Templar goes. We're going down, 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 down. There's nothing here actually yet. Oh, that was a mistake. He should have taken his army out. Oh, there we go, look. Did he get into the base? Oh, that poor Dark Templar. If that had gotten in there, that would have been incredibly powerful. As you can see now, 2 tanks set up either side. Fairly defendable position, that's the thing about this map. Very easy to defend. You can hear some comsat being used somewhere. At the point, nothing going on down here. I do believe I started cracking out a few vultures fairly soon. We're building a starport finally. Finally, probably getting the first upgrade for my Marines and my firebats. Not building anything currently. Actually, now I can see. Now I can see that there are pylons. I can see that there is this. Let's just get rid of this a minute. Oops. This is my vision range. Oh, I've left on just a hybrid toy there. So this shows you how far I can see and how far the tank can actually shoot. The tank can hit from there, like this area, and over here. It's pretty nuts. So at this point, I've got one Marine just going to check to see if anybody has scouted there. So this is what I know. This is my base. I know that. Oh wow, I can't actually see any of that. I know that there are pylons there. If we look at Fruity's vision, he can not see my missile turret there, which is interesting. Fairly scary looking army now. Scouted here, not scouted into my base. And then if we take that off, oh, if we do the entire map as well. Oh, well, that's just dumb, isn't it? You can. There we go. You can see that this is what Mr. Mark can see. He doesn't know that my tank's there yet, so let's crack it back on all of them and continue. So I've gone down there to scout with my Marine. Gone to have a look. We know this. Like, look at this army. I know fairly soon that one of them pushes out against each other. It might be Dave versus Mark. I've got these guys here. There you go. That's how far the tank can shoot. Basically one-shotting everything. Dead. Realising that there are tanks there, pulls back. Okay, this Wraith. This is the best thing. We must watch what happens to this Wraith. Probably the highlight of the entire match for me. So we see that he's about to move out, getting shot by the tanks. Watch this Wraith So the Wraith goes in, watch its health, watch its health. So let's bear in mind, before this Wraith goes in, there are 2 bunkers and there's a missile turret. Obviously tanks can't shoot up, so let's see what happens. Let's just slow this down. Boom. Where did that Wraith go? That was by far the highlight. You see that he trying to push into my base there, with the added fact that I have the tanks, I have the bunkers there. Very defensible position this entire time. Fruity's now building up some pylons. Pylons? Those are cannons. We've got a Dark Templar going on for a little walkabout here. I do believe he goes down and kills off my Marine. Or is he sneaking into the base here? Mark then building another Wraith, hoping to do the same thing. What is this guy up to? Is he going to go and kill the bunker? No. Is he going to get in this time? He is. Oh wow, I didn't even know this happened. So let's have a look. Oh, what the hell? Shot by the tank. Unfortunately, I think a bit too close to that that missile turret there. Now not so bad, but walks. Oh, very, very nearly dead. Killing off these guys. Well, how long does it take for him to get rid of this? Killing off these SCVs very nicely. I'm curious to see how long it takes to get shot. Kills another one. Oh, the SDT doing work. 6 kills on those SCVs there. Got a bit of shield back now as well. Here come the Marines. Finish him off by the looks of it. Waiting for... There it is. Wow. What a legend. Alright, at this point, we see that there are now spider mines down. That'll be thanks to this little guy, who I decided that, you know what? Let's put some spider mines out and about on the field and get rid of, you know, stop their army from coming. At this point, I am learning, that's the upgrade, I believe, for the Wraiths to get more energy. I'm building more vultures, supply, pumping out more Marines to refill my army. Literally, I've only got fire bats left there. Dave, on the other hand, or Fruity I should say, very defensible position, liking what he's got so far. Not sure when he starts cracking out the carriers, but opting to still upgrade the ground attack there. Oh, there we go, you can see putting a few spider mines down just to protect the area, and an extra one there for good measure. Off it goes. I'm still stood down there, just keeping an eye on it to see if anyone expands. At this point, I think we're just all building up our armies. There you go, there's the siege tank range, shooting this SCV, killing him off. Wanting to build that other engineering bay there, but not succeeding. Building a science facility for either battle cruisers, which is what I believe Mark goes for. We've got another barracks there, so currently 3 barracks. Fruity he's now got another forge, 3 gateways, cracking out the Dragoons. We've got a bit of a High Templar coming out there. I think looking to push out fairly soon. Or just randomly doing a little dance, as Dragoons do. Famously bad hitboxes. So we see the Spider-Man coming up, bang. Not so good against these guys. Do a fair bit of damage, but they're not overly great. 3 gateways, getting some air. We can hear the tank firing again. Bang, there goes the SCV. Then it's sort of a lull in the action here before anything really happens. You can see that I've started mining from the extra minerals, or on one side at least. I don't know if I believe Mark's SCV there is stuck and still firing and not going back to finish off his engineering bay there. Bang, there goes the Marine. No one's still expanding down there. And now see if they've started attacking their minerals. No one mining there, no one mining there. So I mean, this army that Fruity has is fairly scary, and we're looking at wow, he's upgraded the attack twice, looking for the 3rd upgrade there. Let's have a look at my units. So I've got 1 and no armor. Oh, going for a drop. I forgot this even happened. So I'm deciding to go and drop his mineral line, I believe is what happens here. And quickly to have a look, we can see that Mark's on 1-1 and 0 thing for his army. Probably the same for me. Yeah, so this drops here. You see he's building a carrier. He's fairly close to doing that. Pick up the zealots. I'm like, right, time to leave. Picked up the army and I'm out. Wasn't a very successful drop. Made the mistake. Should have gone in and taken out the probes there rather than doing that, but such is life. Looking at getting the upgrade there for air. Almost finishing the last upgrade, whacking down a cannon as well for good measure, just to ward off any more drops. I'm looking at getting the armor, so now that my dudes, they'll be 1-1. A couple more vultures to plonk out some more spider mines. We see that he's trying desperately. Now this medic going to be lined up. No, there we go. We see the spider mines going down. Still nothing being taken for that expansion. I mean, this is a prime example of this game. This game went on quite a long time, and you can see we aren't very aggressive in this game. It's very odd that we're not, but we still had a lot of fun. You can hear somebody died there, getting shot by a tank. No? Oh, it would have been this guy. Is he going to finish his engineering bay? That is the question. He is, and gets shot in the process. Look at that. Getting healed up there, and you'll see that some of these vultures, I believe, end up going out. Still no armoring, but we do have wraiths. Wraiths coming up, probably with the upgrade. They probably had that no upgrades for them, but probably with the cloaking upgrade. Still cracking out a few marines, not getting any more expansions. There you go, you can see the widow mines going off. Spider mines, sorry, and there's my vultures having a little dance around. And you'll see in a minute there's a carrier. Where did that come from? You'll see in a minute that the dragoons come down and finish off my army, as you'll see right now. After they have a little dance song and with the 20 plus 6 upgrade, no armor here, but incredibly high damage. Surprisingly, vultures not too bad at getting rid of the shields, but with only 80 health, they don't last overly long. This guy, I think, survives. The marine's gone. We can hear more shooting, more mines. I don't think these are upgraded yet. No, we're now looking at +1/+1 versus. They're all dying so fast. +1/+1. Actually had a bigger army, but because of the spider mines that there, took out a bit of it, and the tanks, very, very hard to take out. You can see they're still getting shot. This tank here is why I haven't attacked. So I'm building up a bunch of these guys, and I am now about to fly into Fruity's base, and you will see what happens. See, these guys are coming out. He runs down here, gets shot by me, runs towards my base. As I get shot, send some guys down here. High damage. Just the thing with these zealots, very high damage. We see the stalkers. We see that during that time I sent in a bunch of wraiths and completely annihilated the entirety of his mineral line. Which I believe, yeah, and then Fruity left the game. And to be fair to him, like, same with me, I prefer the mechanics of StarCraft 2. This game can be very, very annoying to deal with. So some of the stuff there, but I can't see them. That's odd. Well, his base basically has disappeared, so it's left with just me and Mark now. And as you can see, Mark building the armory there to get some upgrades, also sticking on the physics lab to be able to build battle cruisers. Not a huge amount in his base, but you know, it's fairly defendable. Same with mine. Big old army here. My dude's going out there to go and build an expansion. There they are. You can see on the map. Oh, I see. I can't see it because he's dead. And yeah, there go the wraiths. Decide to just take this guy out. And now we have a bit of a back and forth where I'm like, right, time to leave. Wraiths don't have the biggest amount of armor. You see, you're losing one there. You can see that at this point I don't have any upgrades. Using the tank there now, 2 different tanks. And now start playing this game of run in, kill some dudes, leave. Just getting out of the way. These guys are cloaked. I'm going to do 8 damage a shot at base level. He obviously scans. Made the mistake of trying to shoot the medics as well at one point. Did get rid of the engineering bay that was there. Looking to getting the armor. And just churning out wraiths really now at this point. Nothing else coming out of me. Just playing a fairly passive game, fairly defensible. Building this expansion down here. And as you can see, this time I believe we get to see work on a battle cruiser fairly soon. Mark running out of resources and never really rebuilt his SCVs. So this entire time, if I had wiped out his army or David wiped out his army, he didn't really resupply these SCVs at all. So, and because of that, obviously mining less and less and less. You can see a bit more of these wraiths come out. Well, I've started mining here, I'm mining there, so I'm trying. This all mined out for me. Looking at these guys now, I didn't get a science facility this entire game, so I didn't get any upgrades past 1-1 for the little guys, all the infantry guys. So you'll see now, I'll just focus on this, flying out, just flying around, and then looking to shoot some dudes. Be a right old nuisance. And then, I believe a battle cruiser pops out. Come out in time, or does he not come out? Yeah, he scouts me. So I fly off, and you get to see the tanks, which I don't believe have been upgraded yet. Yeah, still waiting. I think one battle cruiser pops out in this. I could be wrong. Yeah, so we get the one battle cruiser come out anyway. Trying to take out his science facility, using the tank as well. The 2 tanks that are there just to maul down these guys. Oh, they're 1-2 now, so they do get extra damage there. Finally got the armor on them. Not the lasers yet. And there comes out the battle cruiser. Decides to keep it there, but does make the mistake later on of sending it in. Nothing, no protection here. Sends it in to that, and well, let's just say 20 damage for the amount of dudes there. Bye bye battle cruiser. Didn't last very long. And this is pretty much the end now, where I'm mining. I'm not mining out of that base, sorry. I just start taking things out. There goes that. Seem to be firing on these guys. An extra wraith there. Now working on the burst lasers again, so they're finally done. Forgot to get the second armor upgrade. I think you need a science facility anyway to get it. Still cracking out a few wraiths. Not building from here, so you can see just how poor as the game went on, even with all the money. Not really focusing on building extra buildings. Should have got another starport. Probably should have got another factory. There you go. There's the dragoons just sat there looking cool. Still firing with the tanks. And 70 damage a shot. I mean, with the upgrade though, with one armor, it reduces it by a small amount. I believe he goes to attack me again. I just scan the area so the siege tanks can see them and just maul down these guys like they're paper. And then that was pretty much the bulk of Mark's army there, dead. Still, I had Stim. I don't believe he ever built it. I could be wrong. And still trying to churn out the Marines and medics. That's basically his bread and butter for this entire time. Not building anything there. Getting a few more wraiths here. As you can see, all upgraded now, so doing extra damage on the lasers, doing 9 damage at a time. Got an extra siege tank. I think I was going to push out and move here, which I eventually do. Let's just speed this up a little bit. You can see, still building and building and building and building. Actually mining, well, forgetting to mine from the base there. Huge amount of wraiths coming out again. Getting ready to push in. There he goes. Trying to get to it. Bang. Dead. I got shot a little bit at some point, probably by the battle cruiser. So let's. There we go. And as you can see, he's left the game mainly because he couldn't see. He didn't start mining. I'd killed off most of his SCVs, or I should say, Fruity killed off most of his SCVs, and never really replenished them throughout the game. Nope. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is the first of a few replays that we recorded. I'm going to try and bring more of these together. Hopefully my commentary is actually quite useful on the games. I'm not great at it. I don't know the strategies for Brood War, but at least I can talk you through what we were doing. There are about 3 or 4 other games hopefully coming. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.